Hey, welcome back everybody. It's another week of British Roundup. I apologize for no videos this week, but we had a small flood. You could probably hear the wind turbines within the house right now that are trying to dry out all the wood because the hot water heater decided to not work anymore. Anyway, so this week the 1-2 Carolina Panthers are going to visit the 2-1 Houston Texans led by Deshaun Watson and J.J. Watt. Now, yes, we all know Carolina did amazing last week behind Kyle Allen, who had four touchdown passes, paced by Greg Olsen, who had two of those. Uh, Christian McCaffrey had over 100 yards rushing. It was a great game. Our defense did very well, holding Arizona to 20 points. But let's put this in perspective. It's the Arizona Cardinals that they beat. Uh, Not a bad team. They're NFL caliber players, but just something is wrong with that team, and they weren't firing on all cylinders. However, we go against the Houston Texans this week, and this is a team that does fire on all cylinders, and Deshaun Watson is a very disciplined passer, even if he holds the ball for a little bit long. So without further ado, let's kind of get into a little bit of last week, a little bit of this week. Uh, Carolina won last week 38 to 20, as I already said. Kyle Allen was a big story. Four touchdown passes, no interceptions. CMC ran 24 times for 153 yards, including that long touchdown run of 76 yards. Greg Olsen paced, like I said earlier, six receptions, 75 yards, two touchdowns. And you know what? Kyle Allen, DJ Moore, long pass there as well. They did great. The only time that we really had the turnovers was Kyle Allen had a couple strip sacks. So hopefully, DJ Moore had a conversation. DJ didn't have any fumbles last week. Hopefully, another one has fumbles this week. We should be good. Going over to the offensive line, though, we're looking at an offensive line conundrum because Trey Turner is out with an ankle injury, and now we're looking at Greg Little at the left tackle, and we're looking at moving Daryl Williams around, who is admittedly just not doing very well on the outside. We had to shuffle last week during the game and kind of just move people. Moton, Williams, Greg Little, they all had to move around. So expect for the game plan to revolve more around what our offensive line is capable of doing than what our skill position players are capable of doing, because we know that the skill position players are capable of doing a whole heck of a lot. And the reason why I say this is because they're facing against the Houston Texans, and this is J.J. Watt on one end, and everybody's like, "Oh, Clowney's gone. Clowney's gone. We don't have to worry. We all know about Clowney. He's a stud." Yeah. Well, we kind of forgot Merciless. Whitney Merciless is an absolute, just devastating force on the opposite end from J.J. Watt, and both of these guys just attack relentlessly. So they expect to continue to see pressure on the offensive line, and Houston's defense trying to win this game at the line of scrimmage. This isn't something where they're going to try and sit back and just let us throw the ball against them. Their defense last week had quite a few penalties, so expecting for this thing to just be bring the pressure against our O line and try and win right there. Uh, Going for our defense, you know what? Shaq actually led the team with tackles this past week against Arizona with 11, 9 solo. Luke wasn't far behind with 10 and 8 solo. Dante Jackson had two interceptions. I think we're still waiting for him to land from the second one. And then Mario Hitstick Addison had 3 sacks. Are you kidding me? 3 sacks in one game. That is absolutely outstanding. And it paced the defense for a total of 8 sacks. This is absolutely fantastic. Those guys did amazing. Very happy with them. And they're going up against a very competent and very capable Houston offense led by Deshaun Watson. You got DeAndre Hopkins on the outside, and then there's, Will Fuller in there. You got Carlos Hyde as a running back. They've got a very capable offense. The weak point is potentially the offensive line, but it really comes down to, can our defensive line and the front seven for Carolina once again attack and maintain those rush lanes. They did great against Arizona. They're going up against an average O line at best, but that's a huge upgrade from Arizona's offensive line. So if they are able to do this, then expect for Deshaun Watson to get sacked more than twice last week, maybe somewhere around 3 to 5 times. If we're able to get that pressure on Deshaun Watson, his decision making goes down. If he's able to escape, though, and man, that's where he makes his money. If he's able to escape, he is dangerous. So he went through one of the really big touchdowns from last week. He goes through, he gets away from a sack. He's running to the left of the field. The entire defense is running to the left of the field, and his tight end Anks breaks to the right. Nobody follows Anks. He just leaks out underneath. Deshaun Watson throws him the ball, just chucks it up, little catch and toss, little toss and catch, and it's an easy touchdown. He just outruns everybody at the beginning of the fourth quarter, and this is what really put them over the top and out of reach from the Chargers. It's it happens, but this is one of those things where a disciplined defense will maintain the coverage on that guy. This is one of those things that Seattle hurt us for years from like 2012 to 2015 with those little leak out plays. So going back into Carlos Hyde, you know what? Less than 40 yards rushing last week for the Texans really surprised me. I expected them to rush a little bit more, but they didn't. They were facing off against a good Bolts defensive front seven, so it does kind of make sense that they got stymied at about 40 yards. Their defense ran a lot of zone though, so you're looking at almost something similar to how we run our zone coverage. Try and keep everything in front of the defense and then swarm to it underneath. And they did an absolute fantastic job last week against the Chargers, who started the game fairly hot, got a couple points up on the board, and then the Houston defense just completely shut them down. Didn't allow them to really move the ball nearly as much. No scores, 20 unanswered points by the offense, and just continuously got after Philip Rivers. All these check down throws, everything underneath. Yeah, you can take it. That's what the zone's going to give up. But then they attacked it, and they attacked it again and again and again, and they brought the pressure over and over. And routinely, the defensive line for the Houston Texans won those matchups. So if North Turner has an excellent game plan to neutralize J.J. Watt, neutralize Whitney Merciless, to go through and find those soft spots in the zone coverage, defeat this pass rush that we all know is going to come. We all know that they're just going to come with 5 or 6 man pressures. So let's see how this works out. I really think that if this comes down to anything, we're looking at 24-17 ball game. I'm not seeing a 35-point ball game either way on this one. I really think that Kyle Allen's got it in him. I think CMC's got it in him. If we can keep some short intermediate throws going against this defense, keeping just eating up that zone, I really think that Carolina's got a great shot at this one. Anyway, I said I was going to keep this short. It got into a long ramble. I apologize. This is Ritter, and I'll see you next time.